actually make sure my mic is working, but yes it is. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's time to work in the workshop because it's Wednesday. My name is AC. This is Dank RC's Wednesday workshop. And whoops, don't break this. We're going to continue to work on the combat wings. We actually have two FT Arrow wings here. Basically, they're FT Arrow wings. They're just cut where the central pod would be cut at the top and the bottom instead of just at the top. If that makes any sense, so that they can then go on the 3D printed base, which has somehow eluded me to its location. Ah, it's right here. So today I think we're going to continue, and I did realize, oh, hi Robert. Robert's here. Should have looked at the screen to see if anybody was watching. I kind of assumed nobody was here. Good evening, Robert. How are you? I hope all is well up there in the wilds of northern Alberta, Canada. And it's plenty cold here. It was like -7 Celsius today, -8, and windy. And then on Friday, what is that? It was like, I don't know, 30, it was like 28 in Fahrenheit. In imperial units, 28 or 26 or something. It was cold. It was cold and windy with a wind chill. And then it's going to be like, 20 degrees Celsius on Friday. So it's crazy weather. Crazy weather. Okay. So we're going to continue with this. Might as well get right to it because there's nothing really in the news. I haven't bought anything. Nothing's coming except for a couple little tiny things that I bought on the hobby that I'm cheating on this hobby with, which is the flight simulator rig that I'm trying to build. That's not interesting for today, so we won't even talk about it. There's just a couple switches anyway. Dual rotary switches. I'm learning how to... Anyway, never mind. So what I realized is that I had forgotten to place... I don't keep grabbing the remote. I mean to grab the GPS. I forgot to place the GPS into the wing, which kind of sucks because I really meant to do that. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to put it in the wing now. So we're going to put it up here on the right wing. I think, how do I usually do it? I hide it so well that this will definitely have to be my wing because I'm going to have to cut it from the outside, I think. But I'm going to try to cut it on the inside first. And how I'm going to do that, I thought about this, is I'm going to take the GPS and I'm going to smash it onto the foam. If I could find the GPS. Where is it? Oh, it must be connected to the... All the stuff is connected together in here. Even the other receiver that we're not going to use. So let's find the GPS. Here's the GPS. I see I should have had a list, a checklist. If you were building a real airplane, you were a professional, you'd have a checklist. Like, did you do this? Did you do that? So we're going to take this GPS and we're going to just kind of impress it into the wing, because all I have to do is kind of, well, the antenna needs to go up. So that's the antenna, and it needs to go up. And I don't even think it matters if it's, I think I should just be able to put it under the foam, but I'm going to try to put it into the foam like I usually do it. So I'm going to mark it with my, oh, what's going on? You're, uh-oh. Supposed to go down to 20 Fahrenheit tonight. Woo-hoo-hoo, cold. It's going to actually be colder here then. Ha! It's going to be colder here tonight. In fact, I think it is colder here already than 20 degrees. I bet you. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. But actually, we won't discuss that either. I was going to say something about the weather and the differences in different parts of the country, but countries. This way, if you damage it, you're just replacing the wing. Just no separation unless I'm using. Yeah, so what I'm doing about the separation, of course, is I have tried to do some separation. See, whoa, there goes the GPS. Thanks, Mr. Selman. Okay, here we go. This receiver's down here. Then this one is going to have the radio for the 433 plane-to-plane FPV combat radio. That's out there. And then the VTX will be in the pod in the center. And then the GPS will be off-center slightly on this, not this, yeah, on this wing. So receiver here, 433 here, GPS towards the center, and then on the other side of the center will be the VTX. So the GPS will go on this side, VTX will go on that side. So that's what we're going to try for. I'm going to set this aside, and that's the way I'm going to plan on building all three of them. So I'm just going to -20. -20. Oh, -20. Definitely colder. Jeez, -20. -20. Holy smokes, dude. That's like, I watched this YouTube channel, this couple that lives in Slavobard, which is an island like north of, I guess, islands north of the Arctic Circle. Insane. Okay, so we're going to do one kind of right there. This is kind of like building a boat in a bottle. They probably have special tools for that, I'm sure. And this, I can tell that this razor blade is not going to cut it when it comes to that. I'm going to squat down here and see if it makes a difference. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And I was just thinking of just cutting a hole in the outside and sticking it through. And maybe we'll do that, and then I'll just patch it on top. Because I don't really want it to be under the foam. Maybe we'll just try it under the foam. That GPS I put under the foam in the Optera works fine. Let's just stick it under the foam. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a spot for the wire, which is another thing I forgot, is I've got to make a little hole in here so that I can get the cables through, which sucks because I don't want it going through the front where the battery is. I'd rather just have it. So here, this is what we'll put it on the razor isn't going to cut it. No shit. It isn't going to cut it. I didn't mean it. I wasn't even thinking, but yes, exactly. It isn't going to cut it. Okay. But it is going to cut it for this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to punch a little hole right here. Oh, there is some news. It isn't news for me, but there was I guess I don't know how it got resolved. But It's Blunty said something about the iNav, the shirt I have on, for iNav Fixed Wing Group said something about Steve Schlesinger in that group, saying he's a shill for FR Sky or something. Now, I didn't catch all that, what happened there. And I'm hoping that It's Blunty apologized or something, because that's obviously not true. I mean, I tried to find some evidence of that, and there's no evidence of it. So who cares if he works for FR Sky? If he just started working for him, or if he worked for him for before, who cares? As long as he's not... Everybody has to have a job. I don't see anybody shilling for FR Sky on that group. I just don't. Not Steve Schlesinger, not anybody else. Maybe I've missed it. But that's what's been the big dramas. There's usually not any dramas in this community, which is good, but sucks that I have to cut a hole in here. Okay. I don't think that's big enough, but let's see. So that's all I know about it, is that that happened, and that there was a video released by, well, was it Steve or was it Mark Hoffman and Mr. D, Falling with Style, Darren. So I know they made a video. That's the only way I knew about it. I missed the live stream when they said that. And I do watch the It's Blunty Joshua Bardwell live streams a lot of the times. Their news live stream, and, well, that's the one they do together. And they do a product roundup. I watch that. I'm not making this hole big enough while I'm blabbing on. Am I? It's not big enough. And I know I'm sticking it through the wrong way. It's just easier to test the hole from this side. Come on, there we go. Let's stick this through here. Darren and Mark released it, yeah. Let's keep it G-rated. G-rated. Robert doesn't want to hear. It's Blunty is a know-it-all and talks through his... Yes. Did I swear? I didn't swear. I haven't been swearing. I've been G-rated. There, it fit through. So, now we got to push it through the other way. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the other camera because you're not going to be able to see me do that part. Anyway, I don't know if he apologized or not. I guess I saw something on Facebook where he was kind of told that it was not true on some message board, maybe a Discord or something, and then, but it was a screenshot, and I don't know if it was real or what. Okay, I'm going to need a pair of pliers to stick this through. Pair of pliers. So, I like it's Blunty, or just Blunty as Joshua calls him, and I like Joshua Bardwell for the most part. I mean, you could say, a lot of people say, oh, those guys, I mean, all they talk about practically is DJI, right? That's all they talk about. And then people call them out for that sometimes, I'm sure. But, oh my God, am I going to be able to get this through here? I've got to get it parallel to the hole so it fits perfectly through. There, we got it. So there, then we'll switch to the camera. Be professional about this. And we'll pull it through. That's what we're trying to do. There we go. We'll probably fill that hole up with glue too. So I'm just going to put a splurt of glue down there and then just stick it. Then the next thing we have to do is the servos. He should have got his facts straight. Yes, I agree to that 100%. He should have got his facts straight before he blurted it out. And I was going to take the time to go make sure I knew the context and everything, but it doesn't matter the context, really, if that's what he said. He was if Steve was a... Like I said, there's just no evidence of it. There's no... Oh, I'm in the wrong... There's just no evidence of it. There's no posts that show that. I mean, he's not selling for Free Sky, FR Sky, whatever, however you say it. You know, I gotta say this though. A lot of those companies are so bad at marketing. They're so bad at marketing. Like, what is their name? Is it Free Sky, FR Sky? I guess I don't know. And do they... Okay, that's how we're going to do it. We're just going to use a pair of pliers and then I'll scooch it down like that. Or not a pair of pliers, I'll use this. Okay. All right. I'm trying to talk about gossip and then glue at the same time. I'm not a very good gossiper, I don't think so. But I just want to make sure that can't come unplugged. This is so much more sketchy when you don't have it put in the way you want it, the way I like to put it in. Okay. All right, let's push it down that way and then I can drag it back. That's what I'll do. Okay. Let's get this ready, this out of the way. Yeah. Right. I need some mission. Yes. I don't have any music at all prepared for like when the slideshow plays or a video plays or I go on standby. There should be like elevator music or something playing while I go on standby if I have to run upstairs or something. Okay, so we're just going to. I'm just winging this. I'm just going to put a little glop of glue in there, like that. Then I'm going to just kind of drag this over on top of it and push it down. Like that. What a crappy. I want to push it more this way. Oh, it's stuck. It's already stuck. The glue, I guess, got cold quick when it hit that ceramic. So there, that's what it's going to look like. It's in there. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I can't. I'm such a bad there. Sort of like that. It's just glopped in there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right where it goes through this hole here. And that will keep it from coming unplugged, I think. Or help keep it from coming unplugged. Just put a little bit right in there. Like that. And then we'll wiggle this cable around a little bit so it gets all in there. Like that. We'll just hold it like that for a second. Yeah, well, anyway, I meant to, before the stream, to go and see if It's Blunty really, if he said anything about it. I'm sure there was another show. That was like before Thanksgiving, wasn't it? That happened. Thanksgiving, America. We have a holiday called Thanksgiving where it's total, the premise of it is just total bullshit. Let's just say that. Excuse my French, sorry. But still, it's a pretty big holiday in these parts. Anyway, I think it was before, so that was last week. That's why I missed last Wednesday, and I should have made a I can make community posts now on my YouTube. So I need to, or a short. I could have made a short. I'm trying to I have a couple ideas for some stupid little shorts, which I'm not into that whole thing anyway, but still might be fun. Okay, so there, we've got a bunch of cables coming out of here now. And next we still have to put in a servo. So we have to figure out where that mark was. I should have done a better job. That's another thing I failed to do. I'm just realizing now. So that's the second mistake now I've realized that I've made with these wings. As I usually poke before I glue it, I poke that part through so I make sure I'm in the exact same spot. Which I didn't do. I can can see when I'm over it because the light goes away. Here, I'm going to do this under the, hold on. I've got to do something sort of unscientific. All right, never mind. What I'm going to have to do, oh, there's a crease. Is that it? Oh my gosh. I might have found one. That's it right there. It's hard to see. Boy, I screwed up here. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to get it. It's right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this through ever so carefully. I'm going to have to do this on both wings now because I didn't cut through and mark the spot where the servo goes, where I've already made a hole on the inside of the... So now we're going to see where it comes through, how far off I am. Oh, hold on. Change of glasses is in order. Oh crap. It is... What I'm doing is I'm looking down there. Oh my gosh, I am so dumb. Because there's a hole in the spar. There's a hole in the spar where the servo goes through. I'm just to the outside of it. So it's over here. And that should be in it. Yeah. That's in it. So we're just going to take some of this out so I can see where it is. Let's get down here. We're going to take a little square out. It's going to help me figure out. It's going to help me save face of where the hell I am. I think I'm right on the edge of it. Okay, now I'm going to stick this through and look and see. Yep, I'm definitely in the hole. Okay, that's good. This was a screw up for sure. That was definitely a screw up. We're going to take the top layer off just for a little spot here. And then I'm going to pick at the foam. See if I can figure out exactly where we are. So what you see there is a hole because the spar foam is gone. So what I want to do is dig it out just where the spar foam is gone for now. And then see I wasn't really that far off with that cut there. I can see the edge of the spar. So that's good, because it'll be hidden by the servo, my mistake there. Oh, look at that. It's right. There's the edge. So you can see the edge of the cut that I made through the spar right there. So I was just a little bit off with that first cut. I should have just gone a little bit more inside. So that's the very edge. And then we're just going to go carefully to the very edge of the other side. So let's see, I'm going to cut this out. I'll start with that. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time, even though I know I can do a little bit more. Do that much. Got an October Thanksgiving. Yeah, I guess I knew that. I did know that. I grew up in Detroit, and I grew up really, literally like, I'd say 10 miles maybe as the crow flies from the Canadian border. And it's a funny thing about where I lived in Detroit, Canada is south of Detroit. Windsor, Canada is south of Detroit. So we looked to the south to get to Canada from where I grew up. And so I kind of knew about, I would learn about the Canadian holidays. And I learned about things like that, things that a lot of Americans, I doubt, knew that Canada was part of, as part of the English Commonwealth. Is that true still? I don't know. But I used to know these things back in the day. Yeah. 80% of the population, most of Canada is like, most of the people of Canada are smack dab against the southern border. Like where I grew up along Windsor and that corridor going up through Toronto and Montreal and Quebec and all, you know, that southern Ontario, southern Quebec, it's heavily concentrated. And then you've got the West Coast where everybody's, Vancouver and all that's kind of right along the southern border. But that's changing, isn't it? There's more highways in the north, more paved highways than there ever used to be. One of the YouTube channels I watched, this guy drove his van to the Arctic Ocean. So we started from Seattle. Of course, he was in Canada the whole way, just after he crossed from Washington State into Canada. Okay, it's time to get a servo out to figure out where in the hell. And then we're going to have to center these things. I guess we don't have, it doesn't really matter if we center them because they're going to be easily. Okay, which way do I want to put this servo? Northern Alberta border. Yeah, so still then it's still a massive truck to get through. What's that state called up there now that used to be Northwest Territories? It's now called something else, right? Anyway, yeah, it takes a long time to get up to the Arctic Ocean. So he drove through, I guess it was British Columbia that he drove through. Most of the way after he left the United States, that is. Okay, so I think it's going to go in this way. Let me look at my other Arrow and see how I did the servo. We can refer to our, so definitely point it down, and that's all we have to do. There we go. So the reason I should have cut through this, so I knew where the edges were, but I don't need to anymore. As long as I know where this edge is, it's right there. It's basically what I would have known anyway if I would have cut, for the most part. So we're just going to mark it with this now. And we're going to mark the inside, not the top part, and then we'll cut that out at the very end because it does sit in there, one layer of foam. If that makes any sense. Here, I'm going to switch cameras. There, we'll do it to there. Can't seem to cut this. There we go. I think I'm getting it in the right spot. I should just do the sides and not the end for now. go across here, across here. We'll do this first. We don't need to do more than we know we need to do at first, and then we'll do this. See if I can recover from my mistakes. Take the top layer out first. Okay, let's see where we are. Yeah, because the actual cutout from the flight test design, which is what I follow when I draw this out, because I don't do anything extra, is for a thin servo. And of course I'm not using a thin servo, I'm using an Emax servo. So now I've basically gotten myself pretty much back to where I would have been had I not screwed up, which is good. So what we'll do is we'll measure this. Let's measure this so I get some idea in case I can't see. So if I go along the seam 111, 110 millimeters, 109, somewhere between 109 and 111 millimeters along this, along that line. Okay. Now we're going to cut through the, now we have to cut through the spar, and that's normal. And then we also have to cut. The paper sometimes doesn't cut, especially when I'm using my not as perfectly sharp knife. Okay, so now we're getting close to the pieces of the spar that go this way. And I want it to not cut so much on there because I want these little things to sit on there. So I want to make sure that, okay, so I'm going to cut a little bit more this way. We're going to cut another like 2 millimeters this way. And we'll end up still cutting for that top little flange. So we're getting to the edge of, and normally I have to cut out a little bit of the side spar on this part. The spar that the piece that's running this way. Which is why I reinforced the spars with popsicle sticks. Very high tech. Very high tech. So normally I have to cut out inside of there, which is now what I'm going to do, because otherwise the servo won't go down. So it kind of looks like a triangle that I'm cutting out. And then I take my little poker stick and get it. Oh, there was a new plane release too. What is that plane? The Andrew Newton flew it. He's got one. Gosh, what is it called? I guess I didn't. I think, to be honest, I think I put it. I fell asleep. I was gonna play it, and I fell asleep. Okay, so basically now what's going to happen is this guy has got to go through here, and get past all those other wires like that, and then make sure we can fit it down. Yes, we can almost fit it down. How long does it take a person to fit a servo in here? So now I'm going to pull it out one more time. It was pretty easy to get the wire through there. We've got to cut out a little bit more here on just the top part. It's probably not enough, but we'll just go with that for now. And a little bit here. We'll try to get the right amount on this side. Like that. And we have had kind of a pretty big drought of plane releases, which is probably good for me. I don't need to, I have shelves full of unbuilt planes. 3D print servo pocket, so I just screw my servos in. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's Yukon Northwest Territories and Nunavut. All right, so yeah, Nunavut, it's more the eastern one, and then it's Yukon. Okay. There's 2 territories up there now, right? Yeah. And Nunavut is the eastern one of the 2. Probably saying it wrong. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Okay, let's see. We're going to place it like this. That's sounds like something you'd think I would do is 3D print, because I 3D print everything practically. Okay, let's mark it right where we're going to go, about there and about there. Okay. I'd still probably need to, I would have screwed up that too, Robert, because I would have like not marked the place where the 3D print thing is supposed to go or something. But what should do is not only make a 3D print mount, but a 3D print jig. So you just place it on there. Gloink. That's one of the things I, got my head to, well, I trained myself to do when I was doing the Flurkin. I was like, holy crap, I can just make a piece to hold these pieces together. And then you spend 2 days. Thankfully I didn't do that on a live stream, but there, that should fit in now. Let us see. Let us see if it fits in. I gotta remember, I don't have to center this before I glue it in, so I don't have to worry. I just have to make sure I can get it actually in. Okay, looks like I have to do a little bit more for the base. So we have to put a little bit bigger hole in here. This is where a 3D printed jig would be perfect. You would just mark out the hole, stick it in, then you'd probably have to have 2 jigs for this kind of hole. You'd have to have one for the top and then stick that one in the top hole and then do the bottom one. Anyway, I did spend a considerable amount of time on the Flurkin jigs, and it turns out that they're not exactly right, 2 of them that I made. Okay, I think I've got it. Nope, not quite. Now I've got to dig out this side a little bit. Let's just make sure this side is smushed in. Okay. There, it's going to go in now. Okay, so now what we're going to do, before we get it in beyond return, let's get it out and glue the sucker. So I don't put much glue on this when I glue these. I'm just going to put a little dab on each side here. One dab there and one dab there. And that makes it, it doesn't, you saw how tight it is. It's a tight fit, just like that. Boink. It's perfect. Not a bunch of glue splurging out. Covered up for my mistake pretty much. Right there is where I made the mistake. Okay, let's do the other one. Then we're going to put the winglets on. I've got GPS. I should probably mark the GPS. No. Yeah, let's mark the GPS. And this one is the RX. Let's mark the GPS and the RX. Oh, I should remember to change the camera too. Okay, just a second. This one is the RX. So we'll write RX. That'll last about a week. And then we'll write GPS on this one. Can't really tell that it says GPS, but it doesn't say RX. So we have RX, we have GPS, and we have a servo. And then we are going to write R on this one for right servo. It's not the aileron, it's a elevon. Right, R on it. This magic marker, this Sharpie sucks. I need a thinner silver Sharpie. Because what does that say? You can't even tell. Oh gosh. Hey, see you later. Your heater's just shut down. Phone's going crazy with alerts. All right. I know you got a serious job and you got to make sure that stuff doesn't get spoiled. So animals or whatever you got going on. I think you told me. I should remember. I should have a better memory. Anyway, good luck, Robert. And to anybody else who's out there, hi. I don't mean to ignore you and just talk to Robert, but he's the only one in the chat. So hi, we're doing this. Okay, we've got the servo on here. We've got a lot of glue stringies coming off this wing. Now, we've covered up for both of my mistakes, I hope. The only possible problem is that the GPS antenna, it's not how I like it, so we'll deal with that. These are analog servos, right? I want to use analog servos. Oh, good news. This one, oh, wrong camera. Wrong camera. This one I marked. You can see maybe there's lines in there. So I don't have to go through all my harrowing guessing, trying to figure out where I've screwed up. We're just going to get this servo in. That only took 46 minutes to install one servo. Oh, and a GPS. I know what it's like, what Robert's dealing with, because in IT I have a server room to put it. I'm being generous by calling it a server room. It's definitely not a network operations center or anything like that, or a data center. It's like a closet basically with a bunch of servers in it. I have to wash my glasses. And when the temperature alarm goes off, which means my phone will start going off, I run. I run as fast as I can. I run to my car. I drive within normal limits to the very short distance to the campus, to the building where I work, and get that stuff under control as fast as I possibly can. Oh my gosh, I can sort of see. Okay, we're going to continue on, even without Robert here. Whoever else is here, hi. I think I just said that. Let's press on. We've got another servo in here. Gosh, I hope. I've been so messing around with all these things and getting stuff out and putting stuff away that I've lost half the things in here. Shame on me for doing that. Yeah, I've only got one of the two servos in here. How could that be? Yeah, this one isn't in here either, so that's brilliant. That's super brilliant. Super, super brilliant. There is definitely not another servo. Is there one oh, here it is. It's connected to this stuff. It's right here. Connected to all the other electronics because I laid it all out. This is a good idea to lay it all out, though. Everything's connected to this board. The cameras, the servos, the... Look at here. We'll switch to this camera. These are all the gobbledygooks here for the FPV combat system. This is all we... This is kind of a semi... abstracted layout of how these things go together. So let's just see. You can go see. You've got a control board. You've got a flight controller. This is assuming that you want to have a flight controller and a control and the FPV combat system, which is what I wanted. So we have all these things. We have a flight controller with iNav. We have the FPV combat board. And what you do with that, that's why I had the servo plugged in, is this servo, one of these servos is going to get plugged in through the FPV combat board. And that makes it so that it flops the servo around when it is flying, which is going to have interesting results, like if Kevin's flying in his favorite auto level mode, which I hate that mode. Personally, I personally hate flying in that mode, but he likes it, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But anyway, back to the layout. So what you have is a few connectors to connect the boards together. It looks like I've put both servos through there. Indeed I have. I don't know if that's what I really planned on doing, but I guess so. I thought it was only supposed to have one. Oh, one's the trigger. So one's the servo. One is for the pass-through. That's right. One is for the pass-through. And did I even get that working? I don't remember. So, okay, you have a servo that's going to connect through the FPV combat board. You have the other servo that's going to connect through just the flight controller. So the flight controller has two outputs going to the FPV combat board. One is for the trigger, that's the pass-through, and then one is for the servo so that the FPV combat board can actuate the servo. And of course we have the power going through the flight controller, which will give us telemetry on voltage and amperage and all that kind of stuff. We have a camera. We have the ability to have two cameras. And so what you do is you put the output of the flight controller, the VTX output of the flight controller. Yes, the VTX output of the flight controller goes to the camera input of the FPV combat board. And then the VTX output of the FPV combat board goes to the actual VTX. That way you can have both OSDs on the screen at the same time. And you can have a camera switcher. So this is the rear facing camera. And we're going to have a front facing camera, which we should be putting in today if we had our act together. So that's it. That's kind of like the whole layout of the system. Oh, this is the gun, the laser gun. It's not laser, it's IR, infrared. And this is the infrared receiver. So those are just connected up to the FPV combat board in their appropriate ports. And of course the receiver is connected to the flight controller. So the cameras will be connected to the flight controller. The receiver through S-Bus connection, and I'm using old school R9 FR Sky. I'm a shill for FR Sky. I'm getting paid millions of dollars with my millions of, never mind. This is my FR Sky radio, which I've complained readily about, but it's from 2014. Okay, so it's like almost 10, it's 8 years old, and it's still, except for the minus button on this side, it's just fine. Oh, here, except for the minus button, it's just fine. Didn't realize I wasn't in the right camera. Okay, so that was enough about that. Let's get the servo out of here. Just thought I'd explain all that, why I had all this hooked up. It was kind of to help me figure out how to hook everything up and to make sure that I knew how to hook everything up, combining the FPV combat board with the flight controller. And everybody's okay. So let's cut a hole in here. So we're going to go back to this camera view. One of these days, I'll be organized one of these days. Okay, here we go. Go to this, we'll go here. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Let me check something. Getting a warning about the battery. Have the battery plugged in all the way. I think I have it fixed now. There we go. Okay, so let's cut a hole for this. I'm going to sit down. I don't need to be standing up this whole time. That's why I have this kind of workbench. I should have cleaned these glasses too. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll peel off this part. Actually, I want to go even further in, just for a second, just for a hot second. I guess if there's nobody watching, I don't need to worry about blabbing on and on. Oh, look at how easily that came out. That's what I meant to do on the other one. Okay. So we're going to go in from that spot, because that's what I think I did. Which way did I go on this wing? Whoops. Man, I'm going to break that antenna. Let's measure. Let's take some measurements, shall we? From that corner to there. It's not 109, it is 105 from that corner. That's the front leading edge. So now we'll go to this. We'll do the same thing. So that's in further. Oh, that's exactly right. So we're going to go inside of that. That'll make it even. Okay, good. Would have only made the difference of like 1 or 2 millimeters, but let's be consistent. Let us be consistent. So what I was trying to figure out is that this slot is not the same width as this, because the flight test plans call for a narrow servo. So I was trying to figure out which way I went on the other wing. Did I go to the inside? Did I go to the outside? And I really should have went to the inside line and cut it this way. But what I did on that other wing is go this way. So that's what I want to do on this wing also. Let's go this way. So that is what we're going to do. And we're going to cut the line along here, which you probably can't see very well. Maybe if I move this down like that. Oh, that adds some light. Just like so. And okay. So let's try that line. Cutting these servos, I guess if you're not smart like Robert and have a 3D printed mount that you can just cut out and stick on, which I'm actually, for the FW190 that I'm building, I went a little crooked there. Crap. Oh well, it's going to be a little wide on that, and then I went a little short there. That's what you get. I'm just talking about doing it freehand, and I'm screwing up the freehand. It would have helped if I would have had a sharp blade, but I'm not changing the sharpness of these blades. Lasts like 2 cuts, and then it's not good anymore. So I just don't have enough. Okay, so now we're going to cut out this just on the inside. Or just on the inside part of where the servo is supposed to be. And now I have to cut through the spar. This part, but only this part. I want to leave the tabs not cut out through the spar, if that makes any sense. I don't want to cut any of this or this. I just want to cut in here. And then we'll adjust the size of this hole once we get the servo in there to test it. And because my blade's not sharp enough, the paper tears before it's the paper tears before it is actually cut. Okay, now let's just check that. That's going to be kind of close. We're going to have to go this way a little. I think we want to go this way. Let me cut this way a little bit more. And this is where we're going to hit the spar. And we hit the spar a little bit at both ends, but more so on this side. That's the way I like to do it. Okay, it's getting close. Sorry about the camera angle here, but I'm trying to be able to see it. And when I have the camera so the live stream can see it, I can't see it. I'm going to get out this guy. It's kind of a little bit less destructive. Okay. Let's do the cable through here. Let's see how it fits. Okay, so we gotta go this way a little bit on this part. Okay. Nope, this way. No, still not going in. Let's see how what we've got going on here. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this out. Hey Chris, how's it going? Robert went off to fix some alarms due to cold, I guess, because it's cold up there. It's cold up there where you are. Okay, how close am I to getting this in? It looks like I just have to make room for the tab now. So we're just going to, so it took me only 45 minutes to put in a servo to catch you up. It's very exciting. And that's all that's happened. Oh, and so I made a mistake on the other wing, so it took me a little bit to cover up for my mistake. 2 mistakes. One was not placing the GPS in, and one wasn't properly marking the servo where I wanted it. But all has been recovered. I don't have to worry about those pesky problems anymore. Okay, so let's see, how far off am I? That should be able to go in pretty much if I just smush this a little bit. Don't have to be. Don't put it in the wrong way. No, it still needs a little bit more. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. So that's all that happened is we talked about the It's Blunty drama. I talked about it. I brought it up and put in a servo, covered up for my GPS mistake. Okay, let's just cut this just a little bit. And I just by happen chance, not even on purpose, I have my, well, I wore this on purpose, but I didn't think about the drums and the, for It's Blunty calling Steve Schlesinger a shill for the FR Sky Company. He's not. He's not. I couldn't find any evidence of it. I don't care if he gets paid $10 million from him. They don't even have $10 million. How much money? Oh my God, it's such a joke. The internet is such a joke. People on the internet, things they say. Okay, let's glue this in. I think I'm just going to be able to smush it down. So let's do it. We're going to put some glue on there. Just a dab right there. And another dab right there. Crap, I got stringies all over the place. Like that stringy. Okay. Come on. Here it goes. I don't even have to hold it in. It's just going to be nice and happy right in there. Wow, 2 servos in today. Woohoo! Message retracted. I didn't even get to see it. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that except that people should know what they're talking about before they talk about things that they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so both wings are basically ready. So the next step is to put the winglets on, at least the winglet on the one with the antenna, so I don't break the goddamn antenna off of it. Because it's just flopping around, and I keep almost pulling it off. And that's just like me to screw that up, because it's just sitting there. So in fact, that makes me think, maybe I should put a glop of glue in there. Look, it's already looking like it's pulled off. I've got to check it now. Is it on? I hate those antennas. I hate UFL. I hate UFL antennas. I hate them. It just sucks. Okay, I'm going to put a glop of glue. I'm going to assume that the antenna's working, that's connected solidly. It looks like it's coming off at an angle that I don't remember it coming off at, but I could be wrong about that. So I'm just going to try to drop some glue in there. Got it. Okay. And that should just goop all over that hot glue, gooping on there so that it won't get pulled. Yeah, I'm afraid of removing this. That's going to be such a giant pain in the ass. I've done it on that other wing. There's a pocket. Oh, I actually had to replace that wing, so I think the pocket's gone. But I had to cut a pocket out of the top and replace the receiver when I had broke the antenna off. Because the antenna, of course, being in the winglet, if you break the winglet in some kind of landing incident, then you will, of course, break this crappy UFL antenna link off, like if you sneeze at it wrong. Okay, I just gotta let it kind of dry right there, cool off. The fuselage is turning out good. We're gonna actually see that if because I'm actually making progress here. We'll actually get to cut the spars, I think, and glue a wing or two on here today. Wouldn't that be nice? Start looking like a serious, like an airplane. Basically, everything, I keep forgetting that I have to solder the ESC to the flight controller. That's a problem. I haven't done that. Somehow I left that off the agenda. So I keep thinking I don't have any soldering to do on this, but yes, I do. We've got everything else done. What I would need to do is either, I'm just going to cut those wires and solder them onto the flight controller is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the, if I was smart, I would put connector studs, a little spur wire on there with the bullet connector, because this ESC will probably die. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. So the fuselage is here. The fuselage being this 3D printed monstrosity. It's basically a brick. That's because I designed it. I am not an accomplished parts designer yet. I aspire to be at some point in my life. If you looked at my Thingiverse, you could see that my thingies are not versed. That's basically what I can say about that. Okay, so now we're at the point here where we're going to glue this on, because I kind of want to have it glued on before I glue on the wing. So let's stick this in here and see how it's going to work. I think I got it lined up pretty good. Maybe I have it too short. Suddenly it looks like it's too short. Let's see how it works here. Let's get on the other camera view. Yeah, probably a good idea. Bullet connectors. Probably a good idea. So I think we'll do that. Because that ESC, just like my FR Sky radio or Free Sky, or whatever it's called. I used to say Free Sky, and then I've kind of changed it to FR Sky. Because I don't know how they say it. I've never heard somebody from the company say what it is. Guess I got to ask Steve Schlesinger, since he's now a shill for FR Sky according to its blunting. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a difficult part. I think we have to see, it doesn't, I've got it so short, so close. I think what we should do is glue this in, because it helps give this thing structure. So we're going to pop this out. I'm going to drizzle some glue in there, and then I'm going to smush it in. So I'm going to just widen this a little bit, make sure it's clear. I guess it's clear except for right there. Okay. Let's put a little bit of glue. Down there. And then this thing is going to go inside there quickly. Ow. Ow. Oh, I just poked it. And let's get all this extra that I screwed up off of there. Then just dig in there a little bit. Make make sure that this is pushed in. Then I'm going to get a little bit of foam and put a little bit of, just kind of smush it in there. Like that. And then I'm going to take this and get rid of all that extra. Just get rid of it all. Looks a little messy, but I'll get it mostly cleaned up. You won't be able to tell. Okay, so now it won't flop out of there. And then I've kind of got to get it on here. That was a joke, by the way, when I said something about Steve Schlesinger being a shill for Free Sky. That's why I was joking about it before you were here. About it's Blunty said that, not me. Just want to clarify that. I don't know how it came out of my mouth, because I don't think that. I haven't always been Steve Schlesinger's biggest fan. And the reason is, which has nothing to do with this It's Blunty BS, but the reason is because that's how I want it to be. Okay, just like that. Can you see that? I've had this whole thing off camera this whole time. I don't pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I don't have a piece ready to scrape it off. Crap. Hold on. I need some scrap pieces. I have all this stuff in the way of my camera switcher mouse. That's why. I gotta get it together. Okay, let's cut up a few things like this. So I can now use these guys and do one of the things I want to look at all that goop. Ugh. There. Okay. Use these guys to smear some glue in there. Okay. And we'll just might do another layer on top of that one, but we'll just see. Yeah, we're going to do another layer down there. There we go. Okay, that won't come out of there now. That's what it looks like. Oh, well, he's the guy who made the, he's the guy who started this, the INAV Fixed Wing group, where I bought this swag. I bought this swag to support them, which is a Facebook group for INAV Fixed Wing. Of course, that's the INAV Fixed Wing group on Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook user these days, so I'm hardly ever on there. But he's the guy who started it. And then there was this controversy this past week where It's Blunty, if you know who It's Blunty is from the, like, Joshua Bardwell, It's Blunty news podcasts or YouTube shows. Anyway, on a recent one of those, I think a week ago, Monday, I don't know when it was. The whole time is in a warp in my life sometimes. Anyway, he said that Steve Schlesinger, because he works for Free Sky, which I didn't know, is a shill for Free Sky on the INAV Fixed Wing group. And the INAV Fixed Wing group is just a shill for Free Sky, which is a joke because I don't That's what I was saying earlier. Anyway, it's all just gossip. I was talking gossip. I was being a drama queen. Isn't that hilarious? I don't really like to do all that drama stuff, but anyway. Okay, so now what we're going to do is glue this on. And that is going to require some, I should have done this first. Oh, another mistake. Another lack of thinking here. I've got to trim this off a little bit. So let's get a sharper knife. Where's the yellow one? Where's my yellow handle knife? So that was the drama that I was talking about earlier. And that's why I said something about... Anyway, doesn't matter. Filled you in completely. And it's not worth talking about. But I do think that people on the internet say things about other people on the internet before they know what they're talking about. Because if you were to go on Facebook and look at the iNav Fixed Wing group, which I did before this stream to see if, because I don't go on Facebook all that much. I did want to support them being the iNav group. That's why I bought the shirt, because where I work is a purple university. That's one of their colors, purple. So I can wear purple around the town and be like, not a traitor or whatever, a traitor to my employer. And it's long sleeve, and I'm always cold. So I wanted a nice quality long sleeve purple shirt. So I figured I'd support somebody that I'd like to support. That I'd like to support instead of just like Walmart or something. Okay, that's how it's going to be glued on. Switch the camera. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. So that it's flush on the bottom and that it basically more or less, I don't know, it overlaps the front a little bit. I usually do that. As long as I'm consistent on both sides. And this side is going to set the consistency because of the antenna sticking out there. So now what I'm going to do is put some tape on here so that it stays where I want it to when I glue it. I hope anyway. So I'm going to put some just tape right like that. It's got FPV Combat on this side. So now I can kind of flip it open like this and glue it. Except, you know what? That really might not work. Because I can't open it enough. Because I've already glued the antenna wire in. Alright, let's not do it that way. Let's glue it by hand. It's going to be tricky. I've made it tricky for myself. This is not a teaching show. This is a learning show. I learn on this show. I learn how to repeat my mistakes. Because I remember sort of doing this same thing to myself before. Okay, I'm going to save these pieces of tape. So I have them at the ready. Come on. Ah. Okay. Now it's free. So basically I'm going to have to kind of hold it up. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get it like this. Okay, here we go, folks. We're just going to wing this. Except I definitely don't have the right glasses on. We're just going to wing it. See, there's room for it to move and get out of my way. If I can just get it to... Oh, shit. There. Get it along here first. Okay. This is it. Just get it on there. Line it up. Get it straight. And hold it. And I'll worry about the glue globs later. That's all we're going to do. Not even going to worry about the piece of glue burning on the end of my thumb. We're just going to hold it here for a second. God damn it. Come on. Oh dear. I think it slipped a little bit. No, I guess it looks okay. All right. Yeah, I should have come up with a better mounting method than this. It's not brilliant. But then again, this whole plane design, I mean, like I said, once Andy and Kevin get their hands on this plane, because I'm, like I said, building 3 of them. I will not be building the other 2 all on the live stream. We'll be like, build this one, and then I'll build the other 2, and then I'll show them all on the live stream. I was thinking of trying to live stream from the field with a MiFi device. Okay, I think I've got it glued on. And I can see now if I've done terrible things with glue globs. Actually, it looks pretty good. It's not too bad. There's a lot of glue stringies, but it turned out okay. It's actually glued in a different spot than I planned on, but it's more glued to where I usually glue it when I make these wings, which is they pop out the front a little bit like that. Like that. Okay. Enough said. Yes, filled in. That's all you need. Filled in. Gossip is all done. All done. I don't even know like any more about it, so there's nothing even else to say. Okay, so let's see. We're going to just do a little bit right here. Make sure I'm going to be able to get this guy in there. We'll do it like that. So we'll just get some in that gap right there. Like so. And we'll do this guy. Get that little bit off of there. Actually, that's kind of good because it kind of waterproofs that part that's hard for me to tape. I got a little extra glue there and smeared it, and it's covered the paper. It's probably a good thing. Okay. We're going to consider this wing about, oh, we need to put the control surfaces in and stuff. It's easier to do that before you put it in the plane, because then you don't have to worry about moving the whole damn plane around. Okay, so that means we've got to get our hardware out for the servos. This hardware. Let's switch to this for a second. We've got to get like a control arm on there. And we will be using this control arm. So we have to get the center. We have to get our tools. So we need to get stuff from over here. I need to get this, all these things. Yeah, we probably won't get to the fuselage today, darn it. Takes me it'll be springtime by the time. I keep thinking, oh, we had to get it ready for the spring camping trip. We never went on a spring camping trip. Get it ready for the fall camping trip. We never went on a fall camping trip. Damn it. We never went on a camping trip. Okay, how am I going to do this? I can't remember. How do I do this? Okay, I plug this into there. This powers the servo tester. Duh. Okay, so let's put the signal up. And then this, and then we put the servo into this. And why do we have that guy in there? I have no idea. It says out 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's an input. They're all connected together. Okay. We have the servo plugged in. Now we just power this up with our bench battery. And we make sure that we go to, we set this to 1500. Then we put this guy in. Oh, and we're going to need to make a hole for that. Okay. All right, so that's the center, or as close to it as I can get. And that does not go on very easy. Okay. Well, we'll see if we have to drill a hole. So let's screw this in. It's centered. Oh yeah, it's got to go down. That's in all the way. Okay, now let's do the sweep. Looks like it operates pretty well. Okay. It goes from okay, looks good. Now we need a control surface and so the control surfaces are they're actually not my design. They're not the greatest in the world, but there are these 3D printed things. This one is for this side because I like this part to go on this direction with the longest distance from the control surface, if that makes any sense. Not that it matters. And then we need a control rod. So over here, off camera, I have 1.4 millimeter, 1.57 millimeter. I think I'm going to use 1.57 millimeter. 1.57 millimeter. Oh my God, I might have to go out to my van and get the... Oh no. Oh yes. The cutter. I have... So we have 1.57 millimeter. Oh, you can't see that. Doesn't matter. That's what we're going to use, I think. Let's see how it looks on this. I want it to be thick because it fits through there. It will not fit through there. I'll have to drill a bigger hole. And I have the super duper cutter. So it's out in my van. I'm going to go get it. Bear with me for one moment. You could offset the horn at center back a notch or two for dynamic drag for better roll and yaw coupling. What does that mean? I gotta read that again, Chris. You could offset the horn at center back a notch or two for dynamic drag. Are you saying reflex? Like, are you saying like building in some reflex when it's in? If that's what you're saying, then yeah, I do that. In fact, on this plane, you have to do that. I just haven't heard the description of the effect of that said in quite that way, because I'm not so good with language. Survey flag wire. You know what I found out about that survey flag wire is that after you bent it, it would break. I bought some survey flags, and maybe it was just the Z-bender. My Z-bender would break them. I had a Z-bender and no control rods to bend. The very first thing I tried was fucking paper, excuse my French, paper clips. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. The giant size paper clips. I had no control rods, no Z-bender, no nothing. I was just playing around. It was an FT Arrow wing. It was in either late 2014 or early 2015 when I first built my first Arrow wing. And of course it didn't work. It broke right away. It wasn't even on a plane that was ever going to fly. It was just me trying to learn how to figure out how all the stuff worked. That's what it was. That's what it was all about. Because I knew nothing. Because all I saw was a few videos from Bruce Simpson and flight test and stuff. I didn't have any personal experience. Okay, I gotta go get this. So I'm gonna I gotta go get up to the van. It's gonna take 1 minute, maybe 2. So if you leave while I'm gone, I'm sorry that I had to leave, but sorry about that. I'll be back. What are we gonna put on? We'll just put that on. I don't even know what it is. toolbox. And I have the mic on. And in this toolbox are the two tools that I need. And one of them I've never even used yet, and that is this super duper control rod wire cutter, whatever. The Xeron Corp. Not only does it cut it, but it keeps the piece that you cut from flying to oblivion and poking somebody in the eye or something. Amazing. Amazing technology. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to first take one of these out and put the rest of it away over here. And then put a Z-bend in the end, because here we have the Z-bender. So which way does this go? Go this way? I can't remember. I think you go this way. And you put it in there. You know what this is probably, but Z-bender. Put it flush with that, and you just go goink. And I'm going to push it down a little bit more. I feel like my weak hands have not done it justice. And then there you have the Z-bend. Okay. So now the question is, and we need something else. We need something else, and that is these things. Many things from the toolbox I needed. That is, I just got some new ones too. These things are so damn heavy, but that's what we're going to use. These are 2.1 millimeter, I hope. Some of them are missing their little set screws. Some of them are missing the nuts. Oh, they're over here. Let's see if we can get two fully functional ones. There's one. And then there's no washers for that one. This one. Those two are fully functioning, so we'll put the rest in the bag. I have some more somewhere. I thought I had a different size that was a little bit smaller. I've got a few different kinds. I've got this other kind here. It's very similar. Anyway, another 3 different kinds in there. Okay. But we only need 2. Oh, and we left one of these out. Oh, crapola. We'll probably end up with a few extra washers too, because the thing is so thick. My 3D printed control horn. God, this camera, is it totally out of focus? It looks totally out of focus. One of these days, I'm going to get a new camera for this station here. The overhead workbench camera is a pretty necessary thing for a Wednesday workshop. Okay, so now the question is will that go through there? Okay, now let me go back to this servo horn thing. You could offset the horn at center back a notch. So let's talk about that. I want to see what you're saying. I'm very interested in this. Are you saying, I'm going to this other, here, let's go to this camera. Okay. So are you saying, I hope you're still here, are you saying move it back from the hinge line Is that what you're saying? Instead of the servo horn being straight out to the whole... Oh, okay, I didn't see this one before. Instead of the servo horn being straight out to the side perpendicular, rotate it back a notch or two on the servo drive. That way in the forward sweep, the control surface moves up further than down. Okay. Oh, I can't move the mouse. Can't move the mouse over there. Where is it? Where are you? You're nowhere. Nowhere, mouse. Oh, crap. Never mind. Okay. Well, very interesting thing to think about. Instead of the servo horn being straight out to the side perpendicular, rotate it back a notch or two on the servo drive. Okay, so you're saying perpendicular. You're saying this horn that goes on here. I know what you're saying now. Okay. So, where is this? Where is my box? Because we have to center this servo too. Oh, we centered this servo. You're saying it's already on here. Ding dong. I don't know what I'm doing. You're saying take this off of here. Got it nicely on. And push it this way, one notch or two. One notch is probably plenty. Back. One notch. That's one notch. From there to there is one notch on these crazy servos. Then you're saying, because I don't need to push down more, I need to pull up more. Well, I'm going to think about that for a second. Because my experience with this plane is that it did have the perfect amount of, how shall I say, balance between, well, let me think about that again, because I can't really do loops very well. And what you're saying is if I took this, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's put it one notch back. I could always change it back to the other way if I don't like it. Okay, you're saying do this. One notch. Let's go one notch. Okay. Then that would give me more authority. And the pitch, actually, is what I'm talking about. You were talking about yaw and roll balance. Dynamic drag for better roll and yaw coupling. Coupling, I meant coupling, not balance, but yes, I see what you're saying. And I'm talking about giving it more pitch authority. So we're talking about two different things. But okay, let's try it that way. Let's be crazy. All right, now this is going to go, the way I'm going to do this is I still put in reflex, of course, yes. I always put in, I have to put in quite a serious amount of reflex. We're talking, I can't show it on this camera, like 10 millimeters almost of reflex. So, okay, we got to get this thing on here. It's going to go this way. Okay, so we got to drill the hole on here. I have to get the drill, at least the hand drill. I'll be right back. Ooh, do I have my camera over on the other side? Do I? Which one is that? Hold on. Camera on the other side. Gosh, I lost it. Too many. There are too many. Bench. No, that's not it. Workshop side S. Up there it is. Okay. Switch cameras. There's mysterious side. From this mouse over here. Okay, this is actually thicker than I want. So, oh, let's switch it back. $9:55, 9:55, and I do have to stop today on time. Okay, let's try one of these, which means we have to take this one out and hope. Oh, I might have to turn this around. This has these little crappy little collets in here. This is something I got like from AliExpress or Banggood or something. And it's not the greatest. See that one? It won't hold that one. And then this one it'll be too big for. We'll try it. Oh, it's got the other side though too. I keep forgetting. All right, we'll try it though. See if it grabs it. See, it won't grab it. Not enough. Okay. I need a small little precision hand turnable drill. Oh, I don't need to take that out. I think this has a different size. I'm hoping. Please have a different size. It sort of does. We'll try it. I think this one will work. So what we have here is a little crappy, real crappy drill thingy. I want to get like a little tiny battery operated, very slow, like a. Okay, this will work. All right, let's go to this camera and do this. So this is 1.5 millimeters, and the rod is 1.57 millimeters. So it should be pretty close, but we might have to heat this up to push it through. But usually I can just push it through like so. And usually get it to go without breaking it. There we go. We got it. And we didn't break it. Okay. So now, let's not lose track of our stuff. Gotta push it in. I like a tight fit. I want it to be tight. So it's okay that it's not pushing down a whole lot. Okay, now this guy is going to go like so. Let me make sure that I still have the thing centered. I should have left the... I could have moved it and all that moving around. I could have definitely have moved the servo. So let's plug the servo into the tester. And the tester into a battery. We'll try to... With the servo hone perpendicular, the roll is nicely axial. With it set back, you'll get more drag on the inner control surface to help pull the wing into the turn like a rudder would for yaw. I like that. I want to see how that works. And I'll gladly sacrifice this control rods on this plane. And, sorry, what am I doing? I'm going to move it to this camera because you can't see. I'm trying to give it just a little bit of, there we go. Okay, now let's see if it's centered. It's not centered. Okay, let's get it centered. There, it's centered. Okay. Now we're going to, this is going to be tight. I like it. I don't like it when it's loose. Okay, so we want it going straight. Oh, we didn't get this thing on yet. Okay. So we're going to get it on this side of this. I like it when it just threads in there, because then I take this usually and just turn it until I get it to go all the way in there. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Of course, of course. Okay. Then we'll put a washer on. Then we'll put a little bit of Loctite on. Forgot about that part. We need just a little tiny bit. And we'll put it on there. Yeah, like that. A little dollop. Oops. There we go. And swipe it up a little bit. There we go. That shouldn't move around too much. And it can move like this. Let's make sure we got a little bit of a turn on there. And then let's see how it moves. Yeah, it should be good. Should be good. I'm going to just spin it around a few more times though. It's a little bit tighter than I like it. So we'll just spin it around. Yes, this is true. I'm going to leave a little bit extra on there because we're using the linkages. So, just going to figure out where to cut it now. We're going to cut it. It's going to go. I want this over the hinge line. And I think that's actually got to move this. The camera stand is in the way. There's too much gobbledygook on the desk. I want it to be parallel, and I want it to be like right there. There. Now, what did I just do? I heard something rip. So that's the corner of where I want it. Just double check. I'm making it hard for myself to see what I'm doing, but okay. Let's put it on here, dingbat. Here. I should have cut this first. I forget how to do this. That's why it takes me 2 years to build an airplane. It's like I have no memory of building the last 10 airplanes. Okay. We just need it to be right there. Right there. Where's my little razor blade? Oh, of course. Right over the hinge line and right there. That is the little spot we're going to go for. And then we're going to cut it about, let's give ourselves a little bit, like that much. So we're going to cut it about right. Where's it going? It's going right there. Cut it about right there. Okay, and we'll just scooch this out of the way a little bit. And we'll get these handy dandy cutters. Nope, not those. Wrong things. Let's try this out. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Now I should make a second one. So let's get this out of here. If I can. It's not coming out. I'll just do the measurements all over again. Okay. Let's make sure we're good on that. That is some crazy. It sure is tight. Tighter than I never ever have gotten it before, but it's so tight that it's flipping up. It's like the Z-bend isn't bent enough or something. Let me see if I can get it out and see what's going on here. Is it not bent enough? It's like it's not bent enough. See? Are my hands that weak? Don't answer that question. Oh, okay. That's all I can get it, though. Okay, back to this camera view. We're almost going to say goodnight. Okay. I haven't changed the dynamics of that at all. It's still pushing up, but that's okay. It'll work just fine. Okay, so let's cut the hole and get this glued on, and that's what we're going to finish off with. Getting one servo on one wing working. Just double check my cut again. Is that really where I want it? Yeah, it's close enough for now. I can't really see where I was, but I think it was like right there. It's not exactly parallel to that. We're going to do it though. We're going to do it just like that. I kind of like that. Okay. That is where it's going to go. So now we're just going to use that slot to help me force this in. Then I'll finish cutting it with the knife. all the way through. Then stick that in there, and then we're going to take off. Once we get it to push through, we're going to get it to, we're going to take off this tape here. This way. We're going to cut this tape out so I have a good surface to glue to that's not tape, because the hot glue doesn't stick to the tape too good. So now that we have that marked off, we can pull this off. Oh, no, we got to get it cut first. There we go. Pull that off like that. Then we're going to glue it. We'll fit it one more time. Yes. Oh my gosh, we're going to make it, folks. We're going to get one wing done. Put a little bit of glop in there. And I've got some pieces ready. Okay, here we go. And then we're going to push this down like that. And just hold it there. Paint bay. Hey, Robert's back. How did it go, Robert? Did you get everything put back together? The furnace is going. I suppose we could do the other wing before we quit. That way I could say I've gotten something done. Okay. Now, the question is the reflex. Okay, so let's dial in some reflex. This is where I just guess for at this point. And I have lost my little, oh, they're here. They're here. Where are they? Where are all my handy dandy? There they are. Handy dandy Allen keys. 1.3 millimeter, I think, is the one I need. Okay, so let's dial in some reflex here. No, maybe 1.3 millimeter is not the right size. It's 1.5 millimeter. So we got to give it some reflex, like it takes, as Josh Bixler would say, a tremendous amount. I might have left that a little bit too long. We'll see. Okay, let's test it out. Test out the wing action. See if we can get this camera. I can't seem to get it to like figure out how to work it. Look at that bend, because it's going way too far. Okay, it won't go that far in real life. It'll only go from 2,000. Oh my God, look at that. Look at how much. Can you see that? Oh my God. That's insane. That's insane. I think that might be, okay, let's see. I don't know if I might have gone too far with following your advice, Chris. Let's see, 1,500. 1,500, let's see how much reflex. Okay, no buzzing at 1,500, that's good. That's the amount of reflex is good. Okay, so let's go to 1,800. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at that amount of deflection. That's insane. That's back at 1,000. All right, let's do the other wing. Let's put it back at 1500 and then turn it off. Oh, now it's buzzing. Okay, now it's not buzzing. We'll see how that goes, but yes, that's what you told me to do. You can see the angle there. And it's very tight. It's not, there's no play. That's a first for me with the flight test wing. Okay, so we will do the same on this side, and then we'll end the stream, and then we'll have 2 wings with linkages ready to go. That's insane that I actually feel like I'm starting to get close to finishing these things. So we have to plug everything in. So I'll do that with this camera on. Okay. Then we're going to do the North 49 RC advice and put on, where is the things? Is this one? Nope, this is the one I already used up. Where's the other one? There it is. We're going to go 1 notch toward the back. With the control horn. 1 notch from perpendicular. A little differential. Yeah, is that what you... That's what it's called. I was trying to think of what that was, that word. Why couldn't I think of that? Differential. It goes up more than it goes down. Or differential the other way. It goes down more than it goes up. Because it's different. Oh my gosh. I never talk this much, you guys. My throat hurts. That's crazy. Okay. So let's get it centered. We have it centered. Okay, it's centered. And we'll go on to the camera. There we go. And we'll go 1 notch from perpendicular to that. And I always get this, by the way, that never do I have 2 servos where it's perpendicular. Usually one is a little bit one way, and then it's on the other side it's a little bit the other way. And that's how this one was. This one's a little bit to the top, to the leading edge, and the other one, perpendicular, wasn't quite perpendicular. It was a little bit to the trailing edge. So moving it 1 notch on the other wing moves it further towards the trailing edge than it does on this wing, because they're not exactly the same. But that's the way they've always been with these servos. They're never exactly the same. Okay, there it is. Now we'll drill our hole in there. Okay, and we'll do our Z-bend. Oh, where did that thing fly off to? It didn't really fly off, but I did drop it off the table. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll put a Z-bend in this. Switch cameras, be professional. I'm going to put a little bit more on the front of that. And then, oh, that would be nice to have a battery-powered Z-bender. You press a button, and a nice high-powered, either, you know, like a stepper motor or something. Probably not a stepper motor. Some kind of DC motor would push it in. Okay, that one looks good. Looks like a good bend. Okay, so now let's get it in there. This part is like the drilling part, because it's 1.57 millimeter rod going into a 1.5 millimeter hole. So we have to account for the extra 0.7 millimeters. So let's just do a little bit of cleanup here and a little bit of, give it a little bit of help. There we go. Now we'll get it. There we go. Wrong camera view. Okay, I have too much stuff on the workbench as usual. Too many things. Too many things. Okay. Let's clean up just a little bit here. This doesn't need to be here. These need to go here. That goes there. Those go there. That goes there. So much crap. Okay, where did the bag go for this? See, this is how I ended up denting or something, screwing up your plane before it's even not your plane, my plane, or Kevin's plane, or Andy's plane, somebody's plane, before it's even built. Smash it with this, or cut it with that, or smush it with this. Oh, I've lost the... Okay, here we go. Let's do this part. There's what we got going on. Where's the lid for this? There it is. So let's get the other control horn. This is in this box, I hope. There it is. I think. Yes. So here's our control horn number 2. Need this either. Okay, this is the same. The same, but other side. I do that on all my wings. It's easier to pull back and then push forward. So you do it the way that Chris has described and that I have copied on this. I have followed his advice, or you do it the opposite way. It's easier to pull back. Oh yeah, easier to pull back the same way. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is going to go this way. And so this is going to go on this side. So we're going to get this to screw in there. I know that's crazy, but that's what we're doing. Then we'll use this little Allen key to help me. And I've got to get the part with no threads to go through. And that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So then I have to push it through like that. And then just dent my wing up a few times before I get it done. Okay, now we're going to put a washer on, and then we're going to put a little bit of Loctite on, and then we'll put the nut on. Put a little bubble. There we go. Then we'll put the nut on. It's kind of hard to get that little nut started for my old man fingers. Okay. Then we'll give it a little bit of just a little bit of encouragement to tighten up. Not too much. Two hours and still not done with 2 wings. Putting just servos in and control surfaces. You wonder why it takes me 10 years to build an airplane. Okay, how many times do I say that on every live stream? All right, let's pop this up a little bit so I can measure this a little bit easier. And we're going to stick this through. Okay. So here we go again. We're going to mark it at the... Well, I should have done this on the last wing. That's much better. I think this will definitely be my airplane because I'm hoping I'll do a better job on the other two. And I want the shittiest of the 3 airplanes to go to me. And the best of them to go to the other 2 guys. The crappiest. The darndest, poopiest. Okay. Okay, that should be enough. Let's see how that fits. Did I have the right camera on? Oh my gosh, I do. It's a miracle. Now, will that push through? Almost. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we'll mark where we're going to take out the tape off. And then we'll pull this back out. Oh, let's mark where we're going to cut it too. We'll cut it long again like we did the other one. Cut it about reflex. Cut it about here. It's probably too long again, just like the other ones, but okay. We'll put this up here. Get this handy dandy tool. Woo! Gotta like that tool. Okay, we are ready to... Oh, no, I gotta peel this off first. There we go. Now we're ready to glue it. One last thing to glue, then we'll soon be saying goodnight. And I hope to be back next week. I am planning on it. There are no more holidays for a month. There are no more days off of work. There are no more booster shots. No more of anything. So we can glue this on and have a high probability of being here next week. Oops. For... God, I was going to say finishing this plane, but no, of course not. I will not be able to finish this plane in 2 hours on a live stream. And if it wasn't a live stream, it would even be worse. Okay. Now let me have this, and let me push it down with that. Sometimes I burn my fingers. Then we'll tighten it up, we'll test it out, and we'll say good night and sweet dreams to everybody. And I'll look at the chat first. Oh, nothing has happened. Are you guys even still here? I'm not so sure. But if you are still here, I'm glad you came. Robert, it's always good to see you. Chris, it's always good to see you. I don't think anybody else joined us today. It was a very private stream, very private and exclusive. Oh, and look at that Loctite is not holding this on. That's hilarious. I did put Loctite on there. I know I did. All right, let's test it out and see how it works. I wish this camera was better. I'm so sorry. It's better than what I used to have here. Oh, stop. I don't want, oh, I didn't tighten that part. So back to 1500. Get out our thing. Let's dial in some reflex right here. We're just guessing at this point. Once we have the plane put together, we will adjust the reflex accordingly with measurement. And then we'll fly it, and we will mechanically trim the plane from manual mode is what I usually do. So for example, my other planes usually have a little bit, they roll to the left, they roll to the right. So I usually mechanically trim them so that they fly level in manual mode without rolling to the right. Okay, let's try this out. Look at how much throw you get up there. That is insane. That is insane. Oh, and yeah, that's almost, these cables are too long. I'm going to have to cut a little bit off of them. So that's all the way down. And then up. Oh my God, it's just crazy, you guys, doing this differential. You've shown me the way. We'll see. All right, so we have gotten two servos done in 2 hours. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks, Robert, for your kind words. I'll have a great week. I hope you have a great week. Stay warm. Keep your heaters on. Keep everything under control. And I will try to keep the air conditioning on in my places that I have to watch the temperature. I have to cool things. And I will try to do that. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I thank you for watching. As always, have a great night.